I'm just like, ah! Everyone sucks in this movie. I'm in Salad and I saw Nightmare on Elm Street. It is directed by Wes Craven, and if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. The movie starts with Tina waking up from a terrible dream, very terrifying. It seems real, and it makes me wonder if it actually is real. In other movies, whenever there's a dream, it feels like there's like some sort of different color temperature to the whole thing, so like it's obviously fake, it's obviously a dream, but with this one, it feels as real as the environment. Like, it's using the same color temperature. I'm like, I'm not sure if this happened in real life or not, but obviously it didn't because it happened in Tina's dream. She even got a couple of slashes in her nightgown. It's like, okay, this has to be some sort of weird interdimensional realm thing going on here. There's a guy who's like in the dream realm and is interacting with the physical earth realm. What is going on with this movie? What is this guy? So while Tina's friends, which includes Nancy, Nancy's boyfriend Glenn, and also Rod, which is Tina's boyfriend, they're all trying to figure out, okay, what's going on with y'all? I honestly think that the guys don't really have the balls to admit that they had some sort of weird nightmare. They're just like, oh, we slept like a rock. I honestly just think that they're lying. The chicks are obviously more comfortable talking about dreams with each other, so they're just gonna have a slumber party when Tina's mom is away, which is hilarious because it's like, oh boy, what would happen if anything bad happened while the mother was away? Obviously, when you're with people, nothing bad can happen, right? Wrong. Something bad actually does terribly happen, and this is the moment when I'm like, okay, something really is happening here. This is the turning point for me. We are seeing Tina's dream yet again, but we're also seeing the physical world. And as soon as Tina is getting slashed up, she's getting slashed up in the physical world too. And Tina's just hovering. She's like along the corner of the ceiling, and it's like, what? Does this guy have some sort of magical levitation powers, or is he like some weird realm stuff thing? It's weird. My brain cannot wrap my head around how she could be levitating. And it's insane. Rod's also just standing there like, what? What? Huh? He didn't really think about waking her up from her nightmares. I have been told a lot growing up that you're not supposed to wake people up from their nightmares or something. Is that true? Leave a comment below. This movie suggests otherwise. I should wake people up from their nightmares, or else they're gonna die. Like, literally. Of course, we have the popo, and the popo be like, oh, logic says it was Rod. We gotta go arrest Rod. And everyone's like, dude, he didn't do it. And Rod be like, I didn't do it. And the police be like, no, we need to have a person locked up. We don't understand. Clearly, you're in a room alone with her, together, alone. Did I mention alone? Who else could have done it? I would imagine it's very hard to tell the police that we have this weird dream monster guy coming to kill all of these group of teenagers, all of them. Now we're looking at Nancy and seeing what Nancy has to do about it. Nancy's father is a popo man, and that ain't good. And the popo man be like, who cares? It's already solved. We got the killer already. Meanwhile, Nancy be like, no, I gotta tell you about this thing. I don't know how to get him, but I might have an idea who he is. I just gotta try not to sleep more. And everyone's like, go to sleep. Just have a nice little sleep. Like, that's where the nightmares are happening, is when she's asleep. What do you expect to happen? There's several moments where Nancy does do a little fall asleep. There's this one time where she's in the bathtub, and in the bathtub she's about to get drowned, and it's pretty cool imagery, because it's like, oh, it looks like this guy who doing the sleep killing, he could take you into underwater land. But luckily, Nancy is awoketh by her mother, and luckily she doesn't drown. She also has a beautiful vision of Rod being killed by this man. And of course, going to the police be like, oh, he's fine. We have him for protected custody. We have him here. You want your donut? I'm gonna stuff your face with donuts for you to shut up. He's fine, totally fine. And he's not fine. There he is, he's dead. He's hanging there. Sheets? Oh, it must have been a suicide. No! The popo, you can't really explain what's happening, which I completely understand, while the popo be like, oh, you know, something like that. But like, watching it as a viewer, I'm just like, ah! Everyone sucks in this movie. The parents suck. Each parent's like, go to sleep. Just go to sleep, okay? You can't go to school in this condition. You can't go to school in this condition. And I'm like, just let her go to school. Oh, you can stop having the good coffee to stay awake. Stop having that. I'm like, no. Just stay awake. How long have you been staying awake? She's been up for several days now. She must be going insane in the membrane. I do like how it takes a little convincing of the mother, because the mother is in denial, but it takes Nancy to take Freddy Krueger's hat off of his head and show, hey, Fred Krueger in the name right here. Look at him. It's his hat. It's right here. I have it right here. The mother's like, all right, fine. We'll take you to the hospital. And I like the establishing of the normal level at this hospital. Like, I don't know, like 14 something in like the teens is considered like normal or maybe high stress rates. And just seeing all these levels go, like, it's an earthquake meter, a seismograph, I think that's what it's called. It goes, and it's like, what? Wake her up, wake her up, wake her up. She is freaking the heck out. We gotta wake her up. And the mother finally believes, all right? She's like, spooked properly enough to finally sit her daughter down and be like, all right, you gotta chill, all right, because I understand what's happening. Freddy Krueger, he was a child killer and he got set free. And so as an act of vigilante justice, all the parents that he got victim children to, they went and killed him. Just like that, exactly. Now he's coming back for revenge. And the revenge is in the form of getting these children, and it makes me wonder, will the mind virus I'm calling it, Freddy Krueger's presence, will that spread to other children? I'm listening to the story, this mother tell me that Freddy Krueger is back for revenge, and I'm just like, I'm curious as to how he chooses his victims and whether his disease of the mind, I'm gonna call it, his disease of the mind spreads to other minds. I'm very curious about that. Of course, Glenn, who this is, by the way, Johnny Depp's first role. I didn't know that until I was looking up stuff about this movie. And this is Johnny Depp's first role. Oh my goodness, I couldn't even tell that was Johnny Depp, but he did a very good job, I think. Man, I feel terrible for Tina because she is constantly let down by everyone, including Glenn. She brings Glenn over. Hey, you have to watch me while I sleep. Glenn falls asleep. She's only waken up by an alarm clock. And I'm like, oh geez, Glenn, you had one job. She cannot trust you no more because she's afraid she's literally gonna die if you don't wake her up again. But she has to have her own solution. How the heck is she gonna get out of this issue? With all the knowledge that she's been given, plus she's been searching up how to do traps, which is cool. She has this cool idea, which I really admire. And it's very brave, and very independent woman of her. I think the idea of taking Freddy Krueger back with you when you wake up is incredibly terrifying. I feel bad for Glenn He turns into a blood smoothie. And then the weird shot where the propels from the bed into the ceiling, I found that to be cool and also terrifying because it's like, oh no, Tina's alone. What will she do? There's a whole elaborate thing of, oh, can you please come check on me? I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna fall asleep, I'm gonna explain this elaborate plan, and the cop will be like, no, all right, no. So basically Tina has to do this. She just has to go in and be like, all right, I gotta find a way to wake up myself. Finally, after being sliced, diced, nearly chopped up, she's able to get Freddy Krueger into the world, the real world. She's having issue with cops be like, hey, come here. And the cops be like, I'm still investigating, by the way. Go to the front door. No, come here, inside. You do not need a warrant. I'm giving you permission. She's trying to keep hold of Freddy Krueger, but Freddy Krueger has escaped into a different part of the house and the police are trying to catch him, and it's like, oh, will he get caught? I really want Freddy Krueger to get caught. I'm like, now the cops have to deal with him. So I guess this is, in a way, a mind virus being dealt with multiple people instead of like these select few victims that Freddy Krueger chose. I do like how Nancy learns the lesson that actually Freddy Krueger is a figment of fear. And if you turn your back on him, he's gone. He can't do anything to you. And so when she does the thing with the turning back to him, which is by the way terrifying, Freddy Krueger lunges at her and then nearly disappears. And I say nearly because now she has a nice normal life, her friends are back. But then they go into this car with red and green stripes, and then it's like, oh, they're being taken by Freddy Krueger. Oh geez, they're not okay, they just got took, and then that's the end of the movie. Overall, I thought this was an incredibly thrilling experience. I felt this was well paced. I didn't feel any need to look at the runtime. I was thoroughly engaged. I wanted to know what was going to happen next. The characters are very well rounded. I like the little introduction, the status quo, showing what their characters are like before having to interact with Freddy Krueger at all. There's also a ton of character growth on Nancy's end. She becomes a person who just has to fight for herself. She has to stand up for herself. And she gets more confidence. She's essentially facing her fears. This is the literal manifestation of that metaphor. Facing your fears, is that a metaphor? Overall, this is a very fun movie. Plus the shots and the camera work is pretty great. I love the directing. The camera movement is great. This general scenery and the set dressing, oh my goodness, it just felt like a world I was going into. And then this insane creature felt so natural part of the world because it just has suddenly popped up. We're experiencing this creature for the first time, as are the teenagers, because if it happened before, they would be dead, obviously. So I gotta give this movie like a solid 8.7 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. YouTube really likes that. You can also like, comment, subscribe, share this video with everyone you know. The ultimate goal of this channel is for me to become an expert movie reviewer, so if I haven't reviewed it on the channel, there's a chance I haven't even seen it at all. If you'd like to request a movie in the comments below, you can do that. You can fast track the movie review at patreon.com/ASEPresents. $20 a month for one movie review per 1 month. $3 a month, how to draw a Pokemon tutorial, posted early and first, all at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grindiness of all these daily movie reviews, you can go to his link tree to find the way that you can go support the daily grindiness of all these daily movie reviews. So you can go here, and until next time, I'm Mint Salad, I see you later, my Sal Cortana, bacon bit.